Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a really fun theme team in the Great League Remix Cup. Today, we'll be taking a look at the Triple Seafood theme team featuring Dragalge on the lead, Lock-On Octillery on the save switch, and Lantern as our closer. Despite being a theme team, I was somehow able to go positive on the day with the team, ending up 15-10. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's check out the Triple Seafood theme team in action in the Great League Remix Cup. Hopping into the first match, picking up a fantastically Dragalge into Lantern. The opponent stays in, farming up energy, and they save switch into Pelipper, and this is perfect for us. We bank the outrage, we bring in our Lantern, and on top of that, we're even able to catch a Weather Ball. Now this is such a commanding matchup for Lantern. We don't even have to throw a charge move. We can just spark all the way down and throw all of that energy onto the opponent's Lantern. They get to one more Weather Ball. Honestly, we don't even have to shield this. Anything they throw is going to be resisted. And now back in comes the opponent's Lantern. We have a ton of energy here, so they are going to have to throw their loaded energy, which they do right here, or else we would have gotten to that second Thunderbolt. They take us out, but now they're energy dry. We bring in the Dragalge and they have Knocked Owl in the back. We are going straight for the outrage, no baiting here. The outrage lands and now we bring in Octillery. Now Octillery with Season 10 did get access to Lock-On, which does allow it to charge even faster. However, it is still an exceedingly glassy Pokemon. As you see, that Sky Attack does huge damage, but we're able to fire back with the Octazooka. The threat of a Lock-On farm down, believe it or not, forces the opponent to throw. We bring back in Dragalge. Dragalge farms down. They bring back in Lantern. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. So a nice little 4-shield flex to start it off. Hopping into the next match and a terrible lead in Alolan Sandslash. We are going to save switch into the Octillery and the opponent counterswaps into a Pelipper. This is no time to bait. We're going straight for the gunk shot and it lands, almost one-shotting the Pelipper. Hurricane would be taking us out. I shield to respect it, and it is the Hurricane. So Octillery able to win switch advantage, which is fantastic. The downside is we are down on shields. I'm hoping they'll bring back in the Alolan Sandslash, but unfortunately they bring in the tanky Drifblim to absorb damage from the Octillery. No attack drop on the first. We're going for the second Octazooka here, hoping for the drop, and we get the drop. Now, can we get to a third? They throw just before we get to a third. So close. Icy Wind will be taking us out. We're very low. We bring in Dragalge. They're debuffed, so I'm not going to bother to shield this. Icy Wind, we tank that, and now they bring back in the Alolan Sandslash. We have flipped switch, but down a shield this matchup can be rough because Alolan Sandslash typically run Bulldoze. And while Bulldoze is a pretty bad move, 2 Bulldoze will definitely be taking us out. We are going for the first Thunderbolt here. We will, of course, get the shield. The opponent is recognizing at this point that the Alolan Sandslash is the win con. I shield it up. I want to get to the second move, but they bait me with an Ice Punch. A huge bait by the opponent, and now they're ahead on energy. We do get the second shield, which is nice, but they're going to be able to take us out, and this Alolan Sandslash is not in Aqua Tail range, and things are looking dire. We bring back in Dragalge, but the opponent switches in Drifblim. They try and get to an Icy Wind. They're not able to get there, and Dragalge is able to reach the outrage. Will this be enough? It's resisted damage, but we get same type attack bonus. It's enough to take out the Alolan Sandslash, and despite the terrible lead, the Triple Seafood theme team able to get the job done. Hopping into the next match, and the leads are not getting better as we are ABA weak to ground, and it's a Whiscash on the lead. Mud Bomb does so much, but I can't really switch out because Lantern has even less play than Dragalge. Mud Bomb, we are going to shield up, but the Dragalge has a ton of energy, and we are going to be able to start applying a lot of shield pressure onto the Whiscash. We're able to get the first shield, which is very nice, and then I farm up by 1. I'm still short of the outrage, but maybe they've lost count. And the opponent decides to double shield. That is very, very nice. I will happily take a shield advantage. We'll bring in the Octillery, and Octillery will be able to reach the Octazooka as the Whiscash reaches the Mud Bomb and take them out. So we have a shield advantage. All depends what is in the back. The opponent waiting their time, and they bring in Shadow Machamp. And Shadow Machamp is pretty deadly for my backline, but with a shield advantage, we should be able to reach the Gunk Shot. Octillery charging up, and we get to the Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot coming through. This is going to be one-shotting the Shadow Machamp. Get trash canned. They have Noctowl in the back, and Lantern absolutely crushes Noctowl. Even with Shadow Ball, Noctowl doesn't stand a chance. Thunderbolt does big damage, and the opponent concedes the match. You absolutely love to see it. Hopping into the next match and picking up a pretty nicely Dragalge into Quillfish. But when the opponent doesn't swap out, this begins to get me worried that they might have Ice Beam. I am going to commit the shield, and it's Sludge Wave. So a very nice mind game there by the opponent, and they save switch into Munchlax. I do want to soften it up. I don't have a great response to Munchlax, so we landed the Aqua Tail, and now we're going for the Outrage. Outrage will be big damage here. Outrage lands on the Munchlax, and we switch in the Octillery. Octillery will tank a Body Slam, not well, as Body Slam does a solid chunk of damage. It doesn't look like I'll be able to lock on down, so I am going to be going for the Octazooka to secure the KO, and they bring in their third, and it's Shadow Machamp. Now, Shadow Machamp is rough for my backline, but I still have Dragalge left alive, and Dragalge, of course, resists the counters, and these Dragon Tails do big damage. They go for the Rock Slide, they bring in Quillfish, and Quillfish has a move. The question is, what is it? Just the Aqua Tail. We do survive, and we farm down, and back in comes the Shadow Machamp with 2 shields. At this point, I just need to go for the fast move beatdown. We switch into the Lantern. We're able to get it so low. One Rock Slide will not KO the bulky Lantern. Lantern sparks down, and the opponent unfortunately loses the match with 2 shields up. Hopping into the next match, we have Dragalge into Noctowl. This is a pretty neutral matchup. Obviously, it's very bait dependent on the side of the Dragalge. If you're able to land the Outrage, you're going to be in a good spot. We do tank the Sky Attack, which is nice. And now we're going straight for the Outrage to see if we can get the KO. Outrage comes through, and that takes out the Noctowl. I'll have to see what they bring in, but I'm probably going to be safe switching. They bring in a Alolan Raticate. We bring in Octillery, and they have Raichu in the back. So very good to bait this out. Alolan Raichu, we're able to get the attack drop, which is very nice, and we're just not able to reach the second Octazooka. They go for a Grass Knot there. We bring back in Dragalge. Dragalge looking to farm down. And here we are going to commit the shield. They go for the Wild Charge. They're running Grass Knot Wild Charge there. They bring back in the Alolan Raticate. And here we are going to be going for the Aqua Tail to hopefully get a shield, which we're able to do. We're farming up. We're going for another Aqua Tail. Again, either we get damage, which is great, or we get the second shield. And from here, we bring in Lantern, and this game is going to be over. So a pretty cool team by the opponent. Not too often you do see Alolan Raichu, but unfortunately, Lantern in the back is going to be able to take care of the Alolan Raticate. We reach the Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump will be taking them out, and that is a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match against Planet 1229. We have Dragalge into Granbull. This is not a good lead. We are going to save switch into Octillery, and the Charms are chunking. Charms are doing so much, I'm not even going to bother with the Gunk Shot. We go straight Octazooka, and we get the debuff. Hopefully this will allow us to reach a second, which it does. Let's go debuff. Octillery going for the Octazooka. And the Granbull actually decides not to shield, and they have a Slowking in the back. So this is some Boy Ghost level spice with the Slowking. We bring in our Lantern, and Lantern is going to be able to do some nice damage here. Going for the Thunderbolt, we do get the shield, but we do have to fear a potential Psychic, as Psychic would do some solid damage here. Again, farming up with the Lantern, and we are able to get it pretty low. Unfortunately, a Confusion does sneak through, which is really poor fast move timing by me. This is tough, but I don't want to take the Confusions. I have to shield this up. I'm going to try and get it low. We're saving the move. I'm going to try and snipe with Dragalge, but they reach a move. A big miscalculation by me, and Psychic almost one-shots me, but they have Drifblim in the back. And if you remember, we saved that Thunderbolt on Lantern. Lantern is now going to be going for the Thunderbolt against the Drifblim, does big damage. Can we farm down? Yes, we can. So a huge miscalculation by me, but we're still able to clutch up, thank goodness. Hopping into the next match, we have Dragalge into Pidgeot. This is, again, a pretty neutral lead. I would definitely prefer to have my Lantern on the Pidgeot, but typically I'm not going to want to switch out of this, so we're just going to stay in. We shield up, we have to respect the Brave Bird, it's just the Feather Dance, and now we're going for a bait. We bait with the Octazooka, because even when debuffed, we'll outpace and we'll get to the Outrage, and Outrage, even with the lowered attack, will be enough to take out the Pidgeot, and we win lead. They bring in Lapras, we bring in Octillery, and they have Machamp in the back. So we should be in a pretty good spot here. We baited out the Shadow Machamp, and we get the attack drop. That is so nice. You absolutely love to see it. They're going for the Cross Chop. Even when debuffed, Cross Chop does big damage. We're just not able to reach the Octazooka, but we have Dragalge. Dragalge, we are actually going to let go here. Just the Cross Chop. We do survive and we're able to Dragon Tail down. They bring back in Lapras, but this is why we have Lantern. Lantern covers Dragalge fairly well. Like, Dragalge definitely does not appreciate seeing Lapras, whereas Lantern really enjoys it. This could be the Skull Bash. We shield up, and it is the Skull Bash. Shielding the first one is very, very nice there, because getting baited feels really bad in this matchup. But even while their defense is buffed, this Thunderbolt still does a ton of damage. They reach another Skull Bash, but Lantern is too bulky. We are going to be able to survive this second Skull Bash totally fine, and that is a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match, we have Dragalge into Toxicroak, a pretty nice lead, and unfortunately there's a ton of lag to start. I farm up, I realize the opponent's not there, but the opponent comes back. So we're going to let them get caught back up, and now we should be even on energy. They're going to be going for the Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb would be doing big damage, and now they bring in Golbat, and I am going to bring in Lantern. Lantern, of course, is our dedicated response to Flyers. Shadow Ball comes through, that's fine. Lantern doesn't care. Lantern is too bulky. We're going to overfarm and go for the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will be securing the KO here, which is very nice, and now I'm expecting them to bring back in the Toxicroak and attempt to farm down. They are waiting the clock, and they bring back in the Toxicroak. Now, this could be dangerous. If Toxicroak is able to farm down and leave with a ton of energy, then they could take out the Dragalge, and I could be in a lot of trouble. Lantern, able to get to the Thunderbolt, and here I have a plan. If I get the shield here, which I should, I'm going to quick swap into Dragalge and hit the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail should be enough to take them out, and all that energy on Toxicroak goes away. They bring in the Dugong, and at that point, the opponent concedes the match. Let's go. All right, we have Dragalge into Kofagrigus. Now, this is a bit of a tough lead because Kofa, of course, does have access to Psychic, and Psychic will be doing massive super effective damage. We shield up. It is the Psychic, so pretty good call there. We are going to overfarm and go for the Outrage. We are going for the one-hit KO. Outrage takes out Kofa. They have Frostlass, we save switch into Octillery, and we are going to start spamming out these Octazookas, trying to do as much damage as possible. They tank the Octazooka, and they switch, and their remaining Pokemon is Drapion. So again, we are just going to keep spamming out these Octazookas, and we get the debuff. That is so clutch, as now that Crunch easily survivable, and they're not going to be able to farm us down. We reach another Octazooka. This won't be taking them out, but it will be getting them quite low, which it does. And from here, this should be farm down range for Dragalge. They go for the Crunch. That takes us out. We bring back in the Dragalge, and Dragalge is able to farm down, and back in comes the Frostlass. Now, Frostlass will probably even have to shield Aqua Tails just because the Dragon Tails do so much that you really can't afford to give up any HP. We shield up the Avalanche. They still have the shield. We aggressive swap into Lantern to try and catch. We're not able to catch, but at this point, unfortunately, the Frostlass is not going to be able to get to enough moves to take out my team. Lantern able to farm down, and that is a good game. All in all, I had a ton of fun with the Triple Seafood theme team. Anytime you're able to run a theme team for a day and go positive, always feels like a big success, and I always do have a ton of fun building and running these theme teams. So if you do have an idea for a theme team, definitely let me know down in the comment section, and who knows, if I like the idea, you might even see it in a future video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is so incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.